Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Idris Ali from recitingtune.com, and I wanted to share with you today 3 tips to help you get more out of your Quranic recitation this Ramadan. I have a tip regarding your mind, a tip regarding your heart, and a tip regarding your tongue. The first tip regarding your mind is to understand what you're reciting. Before reciting a passage in the Arabic language, just open up a translation and preview the section in English. Preview the section so that you have a sense of what it's addressing. The Quran ultimately is a book of guidance. Hudan lin-nas. So you want to ask yourself, what is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here? Even if you can't understand it, the Quran in Arabic word for word or ayah by ayah, at the very least you should have a general sense of what the section is talking about or what the section is addressing. Is it admonition? Is it verses about the punishment of the fire, the reward of Jannah? Is it legal rulings? Is it stories of past nations? At least you should have a general sense of what the section is talking about. You'll find that when you understand the meaning of what you're reciting, you'll benefit a lot more from your recitation. It'll hit home a lot more. The second tip regarding your heart is to feel what you're reciting. A lot of people talk about understanding the meaning of the Quran, but unfortunately they stop there. You need to take it a step further. Once you understand the meaning of what you're reciting, you need to also begin to feel the emotions connected to those verses. The Quran describes the believers, or the true believers actually, as those whose faith rises when they hear the verses being recited. And the Quran also describes those who truly fear Allah as those who, like, their skins shiver from the Quran. Meaning that not only is there understanding of the verses, but there's also an emotional response connected to the recitation as well. When they hear the Quran or when they recite it themselves, the true believers and those who fear Allah have an emotional response to the verses. Unfortunately, this won't come naturally for a lot of us, so I want you to try this. After reading a translation of the Quran, so you know the meanings now, you understand the meanings, ask yourself this question: what emotions should I be feeling in connection to these verses? It seems that, this is a rather simple question or straightforward question, but just by asking this question or by taking a moment to reflect on the emotions connected to these verses, you'll begin to develop an emotional response within yourself so that when you recite the verses, you feel something. Not that you just read it and, yeah, I know what it means, but you actually feel something in your heart connected to these verses. The third tip regarding your tongue is to beautify what you're reciting. The Prophet ﷺ has said in one hadith, "Zayyinu al-Qur'ana bi aswatikum." Beautify the Quran with your voices. And there are many things you can do or learn to help you, improve your voice when you're reciting the Quran. But essentially what you want to be doing is to convey or express the meanings and the emotions connected to these verses. You've read the translation, you understand the meaning, you've thought about the emotions connected to these verses. Now you want to express all of that or bring it all out with your voice as you recite the Quran in Arabic. And by beautifying your recitation in this way, what you'll actually find is that this reinforces the meanings and the emotions within yourself. This is analogous to a hadith where the Prophet ﷺ told people to weep for the sake of Allah. And he said that if you can't weep, or if it doesn't come to you naturally, then feign weeping or make yourself weep. Because what actually happens is that by feigning weeping or by making yourself weep, you kickstart or you trigger that emotional response within yourself, so that the result is that you end up doing this from within. So in a similar sense, recite with emotion. Bring out the emotion. If you're reciting a passage about the punishment of Nar, you want to bring out those emotions, the sadness that you feel or the hopelessness that you feel. Bring it out in your voice as you recite, and that'll further reinforce those feelings from within. You'll find that as you beautify your recitation, you'll begin to appreciate the Quran a lot more, and it'll have a greater impression on your heart. So those are the 3 tips to help you get more out of your recitation this Ramadan. 1, understand what you recite. 2, feel what you recite. And 3, beautify what you recite. I hope and pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses you in your recitation this Ramadan, that He makes your recitation of the Quran something that is truly alive, something that involves your entire being, your body, your mind, your heart. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses you once again in your recitation, and strengthens your relationship with the Quran in this month so that it carries on throughout the rest of the year. Thanks for watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.